Okay, I don't know. Would this be an official episode 8, or is this going to be like a spin-off or a mini?
What exactly are we reviewing?
I thought we might as well talk about what we watched last night if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, all right, fair
So
enough.
I was planning on based off some chats we had, I was thinking, oh, we could do the Warriors. That would be a good episode, but I haven't had a chance to look at it because I know you kind of know that movie off by heart, but I haven't seen it for a while. But we happened to
Mm-hmm.
watch another film last night instead, which I'm happy to just jump into.
There's the second Austin Powers movie, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Released in 1999. What did you think? General sort of thoughts, I
I thought it
guess.
was funny.
You've seen it before, I
Um,
take it.
yeah, I've seen it a couple of times before, but it was still, I don't know. I always find it funny and quite easy to laugh at.
You think it's aged well, in your estimation, like since the first time you saw it?
There was one joke in there where we all kind of went, oh, but for the most part, yeah, it's aged pretty well. Still
Mm.
funny, pretty much most of the time.
Yeah, because this was the second time I watched it, and I don't think I vibed with it as much as the first. It was still pretty good on the whole as for a comedy, but I feel like
Hmm.
it's just a notch below the original Austin Powers film for me in terms of laughs and entertainment value. I guess we can kind of go
Right,
through it. So the premise is basically he's lost his
right.
mojo.
Yeah, I
Uh,
lost my mojo.
Doctor Evil has gone back in time to steal Michael Myers' or pardon me, Austin Powers'. Although they're kind of
Well,
synonymous,
yeah,
aren't they?
technically Michael Myers, in a way.
Yeah, it's true. Art imitates life, or life imitates art, whatever. I mean, he's synonymous with that character because I only really know him from Shrek. You know what I mean? Like this is the only sort of film of his I've seen where I actually see the man. So that's why I kind of make the mistake. It's kind of like Alexander Bell. Is that his name? Jason Alexander, pardon me. George Costanza. Like everyone just calls him
Oh, yeah.
George. I was an usher for a while, and he actually did a talk there, and he was totally cool with this. But a lot of people would, when he took questions, would just call him like George. Something he used to hate, but he kind of over time realized, oh, that's just how I'm known, and I bring joy to the world that way. So I'm happy to be referred to as George. So I did the same with Michael
Yeah,
Myers.
unlike a certain other actor from that show, who really hated the fact that his character
Oh,
outshined him.
who was that?
Yeah,
I actually don't know who you're referring to.
a certain based man who said some potentially regrettable things on at the Comedy Love Factory.
I don't remember Mel Gibson being in the show. Although he's not said anything he regrets, actually, so
Do you not know what I'm talking about?
I genuinely don't.
You
I'm
don't
not
know
trying
the
to get
guy
you
who
in
played
trouble or
Kramer?
anything.
The guy who played Kramer, right? Have you not seen the video of him outright calling somebody the N word in the audience
Oh,
at one of his stand-up shows because he was
no,
next to him?
I have not.
Yeah, he's like, oh, back in the day, we would have
Wow.
lynched you and shit because the guy kept calling him Kramer or something.
That makes a tad more sense. Obviously, I'm not going to condone the language he used in response, but yeah, I mean, like, you just got to accept it, mate. Like, it's not that guy's fault that you didn't do anything else. Oh, he
Yeah,
did,
I
but as in,
mean,
like, if that's sort of what you're known for.
I
I
mean,
mean,
Seinfeld, if anything, could have been a great launching platform for everybody on it, to be honest. But they
yeah,
never really made the jump.
I guess, yeah, it's this film, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. I think it does a lot of things. It's quite a successful sequel insofar as it kind of gets a bit more loony, a bit more self-aware in its
I
comedy.
think it also plays to its strengths a lot more.
Yeah.
In some ways, or its previous strengths. Like it uses Doctor Evil a lot more than the
Oh,
first movie did.
he's almost a protagonist for me. I'd be curious to see how much screen time. I mean, maybe I'm being hyperbolic, but he got compared to Austin. I was like, this feels like a Doctor Evil film almost.
Doctor Evil is by far the
Oh,
funniest
certainly,
character
yeah.
in that. Right.
Or whenever he does the quotes, my laser. And he'll
Yeah,
always just
even though
quote
it's like,
laser.
I'm calling this my Death Star. So fun,
Yeah.
so great. And just like the way he like says everything, like it's such a I don't
Hmm.
know. Like when he's on Jerry Springer at the start for no reason. It's like evil Jerry Springer. You've got the
Yeah.
KKK member and his son, the Nazi and his neo-Nazi son. You've got Doctor Evil and his son. He's
Mm.
like, nobody talks to my son like that. Get over here, motherfucker.
Although Mike Myers does have a new character in this one.
Yeah, adult film Shrek,
Yes.
pretty
Fat
much.
fat bastard. I guess we can say bastard. I don't
Oh
think that's
yeah,
a naughty word for YouTube, SoundCloud. Not as funny as I remember. I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't say cringe-inducing or anything. I was kind of like, it's all
I
right.
think he's funnier in the sequel.
That might be. I might be. Yeah. I'm possibly because I think I've seen all three of them. I'm possibly conflating what I remember most about him from the
He's a
third.
sumo wrestler in the sequel. And then at the end, it's revealed to all be a movie, and then he's in the theater watching, and he's like gone on the subway diet or whatever, and he's like
Mhm.
lost all his weight. He's like, my neck looks like a vagina.
I have to rewatch that one. I think something I thought was a bit bizarre to me, though I guess it's sort of a bit of a joke for the film anyhow, because it's a comedy, was sort of just how quickly the love interest kind of got involved with Austin or was like keen on him. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
compared to Vanessa, she was a bit. There was something there, but she was a bit resistant to his charm at first, from memory, and kind of over
yeah,
time. Like that's a classic relationship story. But here, I guess they said, well, let's do something different. She'll just be for him straight away
I
because you know he's
think
going to get the girl. Might as well just accept it straight up.
I think it's because in the first movie, in the 60s, he's like shown off to be like this ladies' man. Every woman wants him in the 60s, and then he gets transported to the 90s and meets her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm a 90s woman. I'm more independent and strong." And then he goes back to the
Oh yeah,
60s, and she instantly wants him because that's his era.
domain. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. Yeah, it didn't bother me either way. I still thought it was quite funny. Like, oh, this is interesting.
she's a
But
very attractive woman. Her name is Heather Graham.
even still, like I was sort of looking up her filmography briefly, and there was like a more modern image, and I thought, yeah, she's aged quite gracefully.
She hasn't ravaged herself with plastic surgery
Yeah,
yet,
no,
anyway.
don't do that. What's that Bill? I think it's a Bill Burr joke where it's like he's talking about people who take on plastic surgery look, and it's like, look, there's 50, but then there's that or something. He's just saying, why would you want to look 50 and then like a freak when you can just look 50 and not like a
Hmm.
freak? Something I'm completely bastardizing it, but I just remember because I watched one of his specials recently. I got a good laugh out of that. I don't understand the that whole uh, you know what I mean, just sort of industry
Why
and
people are
interest.
so desperate to like stop themselves from just aging normally.
Yeah,
Most of the time they look horrible, man. Like I really, really don't understand it. How and even how they.
mm. You're kind of looking at like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Terminator 1. You know that scene where he's repairing himself. They obviously used a fake dummy head, and it looks kind of like Uncanny Valley, right? That's
Mm,
what all those people kind of remind me of. Is they don't quite look human, just in their features and what they've smoothed out when they get plastic surgery. But I mean, I read an article that Silicon Valley is looking at replacing blood cells with like old blood cells with young blood cells, so they can just siphon little kitties' blood now, I guess. So they don't have to worry about all the freakish plastic surgery.
right.
So I guess botched
Very.
surgeries will be out of business soon. That TV show. Rest in peace.
No, I don't know about that, mate.
No,
It's going to be a whole new realm of botched surgeries.
botched blood transfusions. Oh, that would be sick. Someone would watch that though.
Sorry,
Oh,
we gave you AIDS. I'm sorry. Oh
damn.
no, not Charlie Sheen's blood. No.
No.
Instantly dead.
Oh
Dead on the. You guys should all go listen to "Winning" by Charlie Sheen. That's a classic song. Classic
yeah.
remix. Early YouTube.
Does he have a radio show or a podcast called Winning?
I'm sure if he doesn't have
Surely
a
he
podcast,
does.
I'll be amazed. Charlie Sheen podcast. He doesn't have.
Wow. That's genuinely surprising. I might not sound
I
it,
guess
but I'm actually a bit surprised by that.
he also take his secrets to the grave. I was reading up on some trivia for Batman 1989 the other day,
Oh, okay.
and they were both in the running to be Batman at some stage,
Charlie Sheen was.
and Mel Gibson.
Actually, you know what? I could see both of them, yeah, because Charlie Sheen would have just done Platoon or a few years ago, and that's a very serious film compared to what
Mm.
we would have grown up knowing him as, like the Two and a Half Men comedy guy. So I could definitely see that. I mean, he looks a
He
bit
was
like
dubbed
Christian
too
Bale
young,
anyway when he's younger. Or was he dubbed? Sorry.
too young to play the
Oh,
part.
too young. Okay.
Um, some other people that are interesting were oh, I'm trying to think now. Nicolas
Hmm.
Cage, I think, was approached.
I know he was definitely approached for Superman Lives. I think which was
Yes,
Tim Burton's project. That would have been
and
crazy. And I think there's pictures of him
and
in the Superman costume.
yeah, there is. And while Robin was in the script, Michael J. Fox was pretty much the number one runner for Robin in that movie.
Oh, well, you couldn't really believe that. I mean, actually, you know what? They've made enough Parkinson's jokes. I'm not gonna bother. My joke would have been pretty shaky anyway.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
got him. But I guess back to Austin Powers. I think something that this was a very wink, wink, nudge, nudge type of film in terms of just sort of self-referential or kind of playing the audience, letting the audience on a bit in the joke. You know, looking at the camera, fourth wall breaking.
Oh, especially with the time travel stuff, where like
Mm.
they're like, "Oh, just try not to think about it too much and enjoy yourself," and that goes
Yeah.
for you too. Yes. Yeah, that was yeah, look, I don't have too much to say about the movie. It's I'd probably rate it like a 6.5 out of 10. I enjoy
Yeah.
watching it. It's entertaining, but I don't have all that much to say about it. Like, if it's on, I'd watch it.
Which of the three would you say is kind of your favorite if you had to pick?
Oh, that's a tough one. Maybe the first one because it has the father and son meeting with Carrie Fisher
Oh,
as
yes,
the
yes, yes.
and like he's like, "Oh, my dad's crazy. He's trying to kill me." And he's like, they're like, "Oh no, we say that, but we're not actually trying to kill each other here." And he's like, "No, actually, the boy is right. I am trying to kill him." And then talks about like his life story and it has that dude getting run over by the concrete flattener or whatever.
That's
He's like, "Stop!"
probably it's probably my favorite
Slowly.
scene, for sure in that film. Maybe the series. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I do think I prefer the first one just because I feel like it had a better flow to it, and also I think what this film suffers from, not as much as let's say Dumb and Dumber Two. Do you remember that hit we watched? Is that
yeah,
there are
no,
a
I
few
haven't.
tired jokes or repeated jokes, and you go, I've sort of seen this in the first one. Especially, I think
Yeah,
I'm remembering
Mustafa.
correct. Mustafa, yeah, that was the same sort of thing, and just some of the Scott Doctor Evil back and forth was kind of already sort of done before. But I mean, I guess that character is meant to be kind of like that douchebag audience member that goes, "This doesn't make sense."
Yeah,
So I get that you can't really avoid that if you bring him back too. But that
yeah.
would be my main criticism. Because I'm kind of like, I've seen this before.
Mike Myers dropped off a lot after like the
Yeah,
late 90s, early 2000s, didn't he?
he kind of. I mean, yeah, that's true. He did sort of the Shrek films. And I think what kind of put the nail in the coffin. I don't know if this was
Cat
the
and
final nail or the first one was the Love Guru movie. I think people just didn't
Oh
like that at
yes,
all.
and the Cat in the Hat.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true.
Although the funniest thing is, I will defend Cat in the Hat as one of the funniest fucking movies. It is so. It
I
is
reckon I would
absolutely
enjoy watching it.
ridiculous. It
Because
is funny.
I saw a Speed Racer by the Wachowskis. It had a similar mid 2000s CG vibe where it's just so goofy and dated, but that kind of gives it like it kind of makes it a period piece in a weird way. Like, let's see a wonky mid 2000s film where they just thought, let's just animate everything and it will look good in a year. Not.
Funnily enough, Mike Myers' most recent film appearance, to my knowledge, is the manager or like some sort of manager or radio station owner
Mhm.
in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's right.
they
I think he did
approach
that.
him with the song Bohemian Rhapsody, and he's like, "Oh, I can't picture kids in their cars headbanging to this." That's his exact words, which is obviously a reference to Wayne's World, which I
Oh,
loved.
that's neat. I like that. See, he's
Yeah,
in
that
sort
was a
of
good.
bit parts, isn't he? Because he's also in Inglorious Bastards. He's the guy who
Is he?
briefs. Yeah, he briefs
Oh, yes, he is.
the
Yes,
German-speaking dude. What's his name?
Magneto,
Yeah, the
whatever his
Magneto.
name.
I've forgotten his name. He's the guy's like,
Michael
got all our
Fassbender.
bad eggs in one basket. Blow up the basket.
Fassbender.
Yeah, Michael Fassbender. Uh, I didn't admittedly know that at first because he was. I mean, you look at him now and you go, "Oh, yeah, that's him." But there's just little details where you go, "Is that him?" I didn't know.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
get what you mean. Yeah, I think he's made enough money from Wayne's World, Shrek, and Austin Powers, to be honest. And I think he just likes to pop in every now and then and do a part when he wants to, I don't know, go on vacation or something.
Yeah, and I mean, like at the end of the day, it's not a competition to have a hit after hit after hit and just constantly be involved in that space. Obviously, we know actors like that or directors like that. I mean, the fact that he
I
made
wonder.
Wayne's World and all that is enough in my book, where it's like he's cemented in film and comedy history.
Is a comedy great? What about when he was on Saturday Night Live with Kanye West? Have you seen that? When
No,
Kanye West um uses it as a platform to call out George Bush for being a racist. They're like, oh, talking about this like fundraiser for like some like natural disaster.
right.
And Kanye West just goes, George Bush hates black people. And you just see Mike Myers not know what to say. So confused.
Oh, that guy is off his rocker sometimes.
This is more of a rambling episode, I'd say, just because,
I think
as I
so.
said, I didn't have too much to say on the movie itself, but it's
Yeah. Well, it was an off the cuff thing, and I thought, I guess for context for people listening, where we are, there's kind of a bit of a lockdown happening, so we have a bit more time to record, and I have some time to edit. And I thought, might as well,
yeah.
since we don't have much to do, have the time of recording, like going out or whatnot. Let's just do another one. I thought we saw a film recently. We can just shoot the shit. I might even call this episode a mini me, which will be appropriate for the 2 seconds we talked about Austin Powers 2.
Mini. Oh God, so good. I love when he
Yeah.
comes back in the third movie and he's like Mini Austin. And also Michael Caine is Austin Powers' dad.
Oh, okay. I definitely have to rewatch the third now.
Oh my God. So great.
I'm surprised they didn't go for a Bond to be the father, because they did that in Looney
Oh,
Tunes
I'm
Back
sure
in
they
Action.
approached a bunch of them, mate. I'm sure they approached a bunch of them and they were just
Mm,
like, absolutely not. This they
yeah,
probably felt insulted.
probably.
I
Because I
was that
think Timothy
Pierce
Dalton.
Brosnan at that time, wasn't he? Pierce Brosnan, 1999.
Yeah,
Or the
99 it was him.
so yeah,
Oh yeah, he definitely
and
wouldn't want to do that because he was the more
Connery
serious
definitely would
one.
not have wanted to.
I guess I would
Connery
say. Oh, sorry.
would have Connery would have probably seen that as quite a disrespectful film.
Yeah, although
I'd be guessing.
it's more aping what's it's not George Lazenby who comes in, Roger Moore. It's more aping Roger Moore films, especially
Oh, especially
Moonraker.
that space station. Yeah, I was going to say the
Yeah,
space part.
like I guess for
Um,
anyone listening, I would highly recommend Moonraker. It is a delight and
is it so
pretty
bad
much a
that it's
proto. Not so bad it's good, but it's kind of like an unintentional parody of James Bond. Jaws fights. So he's the guy with the titanium teeth, I guess. He's fighting James on a chairlift cable car, and at the end of the fight, Bond escapes, and he just runs into this girl. Jaws runs into this girl, and suddenly it becomes a romance story between him and this girl, and they just go on like a little love picnic. You know what I mean? Like,
what?
yeah, and then she's suddenly with him in the space station at the end and all that together. Like she just joins him with all the paramilitary guys. It's really bizarre, but it's delightful.
Yeah,
Good campy fun.
but I love like the progression of James Bond went from like quite serious and like spy thriller to like goofy like action adventure to just like outright like balls to the wall, insane like action. No no real care thought about into the plot or anything. Full circle back to like kind of not really self-aware serious thing with Pierce Brosnan to
Hmm.
actually decent action spy thriller with Daniel Craig.
Yeah, Casino Royale is great, as is Skyfall. I think the following film, which I forgot about, what's it called? Spectre. That was kind of a classic identity crisis where obviously it's sort of a serious Bond film because it's a Craig one, but
Yeah.
it kind of tried to be a bit too tongue in cheek and it didn't really balance it all too well. And the Sam Smith song just sucked for the opening title
Doesn't he
sequence.
die at the end of No Time to Die?
Oh, maybe, I'm not sure. I've heard speculation that I'm about to say Sam Raimi, Rami Malek, pardon me, who's going to be one of the villains. Remember someone told me that they think he might be Doctor No, and so the title is No Time to Die, like talking to No.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
That would be a kind of nice twist, but I don't know if that's just a theory, I guess. Jeez, I couldn't think of. Should we even bother with a question?
Suppose we should.
I suppose so.
What's your favorite James Bond girl name? Like the most
Oh,
absurd, or like whatever one you like the most.
well, I
I
think for
definitely,
me it would have to be Pussy Galore, which kind of
I'd go with
started.
Octopussy.
Oh yeah,
Is that her name?
I haven't seen that film. I don't actually know, but I think Pussy Galore was sort of the one that obviously started the Austin Powers jokes of a lot of vagina.
Mm-mm.
But that scene is funny. I love Goldfinger so much. Like that's also a case where they're kind of a bit tongue in cheek, even though that's one of the early Connery ones. You know, when she introduces herself, he's woken up from, I think he's knocked out. She goes, "My name is Pussy
Mm.
Galore," and he goes, "Oh, I must be dreaming then." Like, even he thinks her name's absurd. So it's not like they didn't have that early on, but obviously that was a very minor detail.
Yeah, well, even Austin thinks the names are reserves. Ivana, Ivana hump a lot, and I'm on a toilet made out of gold, but we can't all get what we want, sweetheart.
Yeah, which is a
Oh
strange
god,
reference to a political book called Utopia, I think, where everyone
is it
has so much
actually
gold
an
that their toilets are
intentional reference?
golden. What was that?
Is it actually an intentional reference, or is he just saying that?
Um, Look, I think a lot of people know about the image of golden toilets, but they might not necessarily know where it comes from. It may even predate that. Uh, but I don't. I
Right.
When I was watching that, I didn't see any kind of obvious reference to that book beyond "We can't get what we want" because that book's about like an ideal society type thing. I think the
Okay,
word
so
utopia means no place that exists, like unrealistic place. So,
yeah,
but I don't know if he's going that deep with that joke. He could be. He could be.
he could be. I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's probably quite an intelligent person. He probably
Yeah.
reads a lot. A lot of funny people, I think, read a lot.
Oh, for sure. I know that what's his name, the animator who did a lot of the Chuck Jones, the director, I think he was, who did a lot of the classic Looney Tunes cartoons in the 40s. He said his biggest inspiration was I just read books. You know, when it came to story ideas or goofy
Right.
kind of gags. Yeah,
Looney Tunes. Do you like Looney Tunes or the Disney like characters better?
Looney Tunes all the way. I think
Yeah, I think so
Looney
too.
Tunes. Pardon me. I always say tunes when I meant to say tunes.
You know, Bugs like absolutely annihilated Mickey Mouse for a few years in like popularity, which
It's
is
interesting.
insane when you think about it now. But
I think he's a more interesting character. I actually couldn't tell you anything about Mickey Mouse beyond what he looks like.
he's done blackface several times. But then again, so is Bugs.
Hmm,
Imagine being a black person back then, going to like the theater. Like, imagine going there and seeing that shit. You'd be like, okay. Like, and even then, like in the cartoons, like you have like the racist black people like eating watermelon, which is a stereotype. I don't really know why that's a stereotype, but it is.
I'm not sure where that comes from, to be honest.
Yeah, because I don't really understand. I never even understood the fried chicken thing. I remember the first exposure I had to that was, do you remember that KFC ad at the cricket where there's one guy in the cricket crowd and he's eating KFC and then, like, for some reason, he is surrounded by, like, different kinds of black people, and,
I do not remember this. I know the fried chicken kind of meme, I guess, but or stereotype, but I'm not aware of the ad you're
it
talking about.
was an Australian TV ad, and he was in the cricket stadiums eating KFC, and all these black people just start, like, trying to get it off him, bro. Like,
Oh, that
it's
sounds like
literally
something from the
absurd.
bloody Boondocks.
It's
You know what I
it's
mean?
absurd, man. It's and
Um,
that's from when I was a kid, when we were kids, and it's like, oh, like, what?
that's odd. I mean, when you say were they like black as an African or like indigenous
One's
Aboriginal?
Alright, so the premise of the act is he's surrounded by, like, a bunch of, like, West Indies,
Oh
fans,
yeah, okay, that makes sense then. See, I'm a dum
um,
with cricket, so I forget what kind of countries play it against us.
and he's, they're all, like, playing their drums and stuff, and
Hmm.
he's getting annoyed at them, and then his solution is to pull out a bucket of chicken, and they all start eating it, and they're quiet, and he's like, "Simple as that." Like, oh my god.
Wow,
Jeez.
that's pretty ballsy. Uh, to put it diplomatically again, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to watch that once we're done. But yeah, that's what an adventure this has been. I've discovered so many new things,
Hope you guys did too.
and that's gonna be us, episode 8, I think. Yeah. Have a
Yep.
good night, everyone, or good morning, wherever you may
Stay
be listening to
handsome.
this. Yes. You'll always be handsome to us.
It's because we can't see you.
Goodbye.